Hello everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm joined with Kayleigh, and it's going to be a pretty cool episode because this episode will mark, I guess, the kind of second from last episode of these autumn kind of special episodes I've been doing. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. Kayleigh's going to talk about her growing journey so far, and yeah, it's gonna be really awesome. So Kayleigh, it's been that's your first podcast, so I'm glad you come on mine. Would you mind just doing a little intro of yourself?
Hi, I'm Kayleigh. I'm 28 from Teesside. I suffered with Crohn's disease for almost a decade, but I wasn't actually diagnosed until 2019. So it's
Okay.
been a crazy journey, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. To 2009, like it's like when you was diagnosed, like now, like do you feel like a bit? Because I know sometimes I do. Like I know it may be in like it was like a decade ago, but does it feel like it was only yesterday sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I only got diagnosed because I had a lot of complications during my pregnancy. So before that, they were putting it down to eating disorders, anxiety, when I didn't have, well, I had anxiety, but I didn't have any eating disorders. I was just losing weight because I wasn't holding anything in. So it wasn't until I had my son that I actually got diagnosed, and then it's just been surgery after surgery and then taking care of him. So it's flew by, to be honest.
Yeah. Yes, I can't believe it's soon be 2023, so
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy how like I was diagnosed in 2017. So a little over 5 years I've been diagnosed, but it's quite a while. Not compared to you. um but it's something that you think about it and then it doesn't feel long ago, but it does really.
Yeah, for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah. Like so was that kind of one of the main symptoms for you to getting diagnosed was like the weight loss?
Yeah, so I'd say it was in school. I was a tired person, always feeling sick and stuff like that. And as I left, it just progressed further. So like it started affecting things I ate very slowly, and then I got to 19, and suddenly I couldn't even drink water without just being in pain and spending endless time on the toilet. And I'm 5'8", so I'm quite a tall girl, and I dropped to like 6.5 stone. So I was really skinny.
Yeah.
Um, and I was persistently going to the doctors, and they were just telling me it was anxiety, and I was just like, no, it's not, no, it's not, please do something. And one doctor called me deranged and deluded for asking for a colonoscopy. So after that, I was like, I started to believe that maybe I was going mad. I was like, okay, like maybe I am doing this to myself somehow, because I'm a big believer of law of attraction and stuff like that. So like to believe all of that and then have medical professionals turn around and say it's all in your head, I was like, maybe it actually is. So like it was crazy the effect it had, like on my mental health in the end as well. Like even now, like
Yeah.
um, I know I'm poorly, and I know I need to go to A&E, for example, but even now there's something at the back of my mind that goes, maybe it's just in your head. And I did that even before I got my stoma, and then it turned out I was in ICU after that and everything. So like it wasn't in my head.
Yeah, I think it's hard, especially with that kind of stuff when you get diagnosed, when you want to get seen, and because you're saying something and you wouldn't say it if you didn't think so, because like especially weight loss, it can be so many different things you can get diagnosed because of weight loss. Um,
Mhm.
and it was the same for me. Like I was one of the main symptoms was weight loss for me. The only difference between me and you, at the time, I wouldn't have been pregnant because I'm a boy. uh, um, but the thing is, I'd get pushed to have appointments too. Um, and um, and I was in last year of school as well, and like it's hard because you want to get relieved, and people don't take you seriously, and they say they put you probably on the waiting list, and you wait ages, and then as soon as it gets worse, something gets really bad, they take you seriously when the bad times come.
Yeah, I mean, I asked for a colonoscopy, and one doctor listened to me, and then I got a phone call off another doctor who called me and cancelled it. So it it was at that point I'd stopped getting, like, I'd just lived my life, and I was fully convinced that, like, I was just going to die one day because no one was taking me seriously, and I was just wasting away. Everyone in my family was so terrified, and I don't know how I fell pregnant because I wasn't getting periods or anything like that. It was complete and utter luck, and I was really bad through all of that. But it was actually that situation that had people take me seriously and give me the push to go back to the hospital, because at that point I was like, I'm not going back. I think it's all in my head, where it wasn't just my life anymore, it was my son's. So I was like, I have to go for him.
Yeah, yeah, it's very hard. It's very. I think that's probably. I'd say the toughest part of having Crohn's is the diagnosis stage, especially. Even though, of course, there's more tough times, but I think once you get a diagnosis, things do get a little bit easier, and then you go on you might go on other medications and stuff like that, just to help you. But yeah, like the weight loss, like for me, I couldn't eat anything at the time. I could eat probably chicken. I could eat chicken for some
Yeah.
reason. I could eat chicken. I don't know what it was. I didn't want to eat chicken all the time. I wanted to try new things. I had meals in front of me, and I said I couldn't eat it. Um, I'm bloated. I'm full. I'm full. It's
Hmm.
like, and like I don't want. I want to eat it. It's in front of me, and I really do. But then I just don't get hungry because of the bloat you can get with Crohn's and stuff.
Yeah, I used to end up in like vicious cycles of that, where I wouldn't eat for a while, and because I'd be like, I can't touch it. But then when I did try and eat, I'd try and eat as much as I could, as quickly as I could, because I knew that instantly I was going to be in pain and bloated and stuff. And it took me, even like after I've been diagnosed, like quite a while to get a good balance with food again, and to start not being scared of it. Because even after I'd got my stoma and I stopped having pain with food, I still associated it, and I
Yeah,
still had my fears there. Um, but
yeah,
I just pushed myself through it. Like,
yeah. You kind of have to, really. Was um was that the first time you heard of like Crohn's and stuff? Then when you was diagnosed?
well, because of the years before, I'd actually been googling my symptoms as people do, and every single time Crohn's had come up, and I'd mention it to my GP, and they were like, "No, you're too young," even though like late teens, early 20s is actually one of the most like common ages to actually get it. So I ticked every single box, but for some reason they just didn't listen.
It's very annoying when that happens because it's kind of like you wouldn't want to be there if that was the case. I bet you'd be more than happy if everything was all right. You'd be at home, Netflix and chill. uh,
Yeah.
um, like I'd like that too. Like there's times I'd go into A&E. I think it was before I was diagnosed. It was something. I was in so much pain in my stomach. It's like painy, but burning sensation in my stomach it was. And I come in the middle of the night. I could not sleep. I had to go into hospital. That was the only
Mhm.
option, and I had to go to A&E. And wait about. I got there probably about 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm still there waiting in 7, 8 o'clock. It might have been. I might have got seen at 6 actually, but I'm waiting hours, and with people that have got injuries. They've had injuries outside, physically, which people can see.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll probably be last on the list because no one can see mine.
Hmm. Well, I know, like, they always play it off like, you go in and it's like you're sat there for 9 hours, and then they're like, you're just wasting our time, and I'm like, why would I? Like, I don't want to be sat here for 9 hours either. One time they'd give me, it was just before my stoma, and it was during COVID, so I was in by myself, and they'd give me morphine, and it didn't affect me, and I was like, I was begging for more. I was at like my end at that point. I just couldn't go anymore. I'd never felt pain anything like it. And I heard the nurses saying that I was in for a ride. And I was just thinking, no way. And I don't want to portray it like the NHS or hospitals in a bad light, because obviously they've saved my life multiple times. Like, they are great, but you do get the bad ones, especially if you're not diagnosed or you're newly diagnosed and you can't fight your corner, that do just think the worst of you. It turns out they were actually giving me like mostly saline. So they were giving me like 1 milligram or whatever it's thingied in instead of 10. So I was like, no wonder it wasn't affecting me.
Yeah, yeah. I've said this loads of times, and like that people with chronic illnesses, like I spoke to someone not too long ago, and they actually said that there's this place in London where people can go. They have like their own ward for people who have a chronic illness, and I think that's really good. I think that should be everywhere.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
because people who are going in for emergencies have a chronic illness, and unless for some reason a person with a chronic illness had an injury, like maybe they've had an injury outside or something like that, that's nothing to do with a chronic illness. I understand going to the A&E part there, but we shouldn't be going, I don't think, to the A&E part if we are having something happens with a chronic illness or like pain.
Well,
Because
I was in not long ago. I'd my wound that I've recently had surgery back in July because I've had three now. And my most latest one, my wound had started leaking, so I'd been advised to go to A&E. Um, and when I got there, I was thinking, I'm sat here with an open wound. My immune system is like literally nothing right now, and I'm just surrounded by people who are spluttering and coughing, and literally like there's blood all over the floors, like from some drunken fights. And I was like, and I have to sit here like for 6 hours around this. Like, this is crazy. I end up going to come out worse than what I went what I went in to begin with.
yeah, like the thing is really like if I've the thing is in pain in the ward, for example, if you're going there for emergency because of something like with your Crohn's, for example, and like you feel like I guess you can't go up to the person at the till. Well, not it's not a till, like it's like the desk. I'm not paying anything. um, and you can't really like you can't really feel like to say anything, and like can someone be hurried up or something, because like they're not going to listen, they think you got, I don't know why you're here, and stuff like that, and it's really hard to explain yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had a few times where I've sat for hours on end, but because I am that type of person who like I do not go in unless I'm dying. Like, it's as simple as that. So like most times I've actually went and they've took one look at me and I've collapsed to the floor or something, and they've been like, oh God, and they've had to take me through because I do believe I push myself and I shouldn't really. Once you start doubting, like thinking, should I go into A&E? You probably should have already went ages ago, but I wait hours after that. So
Mm,
but
yeah.
it is hard trying to find that balance, or when you think, when should I go? Because obviously with us, we are used to chronic pain, and and we're thinking, is this an illness or is it something worse? Is it something outside of our Crohn's? Like, it's hard to differentiate stuff sometimes when you're in pain quite a lot.
It is really hard sometimes with it, like it's like I guess you like you don't want to go into hospital really, and because you guess you go there quite often. Anyway, when you're having your Crohn's, like it might be a blood test, having blood tests, or just like you want to avoid it as much as you can. But like I'm the same. Like I went to school when I had that burny sensation, pain in my stomach area. I still went in and I still did it because I know I had to catch up anyway. And when it got really bad, like I had to go in, and like it's hard. And there was one time where I couldn't walk for some reason. I don't think it was Crohn's related, um,
Mhm.
because I don't know what it was. I laugh about it now because I couldn't walk for some reason, and then I can walk again, and I had all these like the stretches and exercise things they do with
Mhm.
you, but still I never know to this day why, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like you try and wait till it's really really bad, because if it's edible, I guess it's like not maybe just a little bit. Maybe something you're used to, it's fine. But I guess when it gets beyond copable, you go in and to the hospital,
Yeah.
which can be it's not a pleasant experience, but like sometimes you may wait for an appointment, maybe from your consultant and stuff, and you may be there hours, and then you're only in there 5 minutes, and then you're out.
Yeah. I feel like my consultant is always late. So
Yeah.
I'm sat for like 2 hours waiting and then you're in there 5 minutes. But
Mm. Yeah. I like to be. I like to go to places. I get there on time, and I'm the same. Mostly, I was here. Like my consultant is running late, and that shouldn't be my fault. I should be in and out, considering it's only 5 minutes most of the time. And I guess because like of my autism and that, I want to. I get there on time, and then I expect to be in there and out,
yeah.
not wait an extra. Sometimes it's been an extra hour or two
Hmm.
just to get seen, and they'll ask me how you're doing. Um, I think I remember once I said to my consultant, I think I was talking about I guess it's my autism. Like he asked how I was doing, and I said not great. I wasn't talking about my Crohn's. I was talking about like me and myself. And then he said, or the consultant said, oh well, I didn't mean that. I meant about your Crohn's. And then even before so, I just talking about my Crohn's. I was thought maybe you could have said something about
Yeah.
that.
I
um,
think they're taking like the whole picture because I think
yeah.
a lot of the time as well with me personally, like how my mental health is affects my Crohn's and vice versa. Like it's just kind of like one cycle. Like I find if my Crohn's is going quite well, I end up more upbeat as myself because obviously I can spend more time with my kids and stuff then. So I say kids, I've got one son, but I've I'm engaged and he's got 3 kids, so I've got three
Okay.
stepkids. So just in case you get confused, so I do find that I end up in a better mood. But then when I'm flaring, or if I'm stressed, it can put me into a flare as well, and then I end up in a rut because then I can't get out of bed and I hear my son crying. I can't pick him up, and it gets hard.
Mm.
But yeah, I found ways to keep going, and it's usually my son who quacks at me constantly.
Keep
It's
you
great.
busy.
I think he's part duck.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, but I guess that, like if you are in pain, like it's always. I think if you're in a flare, for example, it's always good to have a distraction, from it, and like I
Mhm.
guess your kid can be with that. Your
Yeah, they're a very
distraction.
good distraction.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's just something like you like to do as well. Um, like if you have a hobby, you can do that, which it can be hard. But if you're doing something else rather than just focusing, like especially like if you're in pain, you'll be thinking about that all the time. Like, is it going to get worse? Is it just going to stay where it is? But if you have something else like to do, like if it's don't know, if someone's in the flare at the moment, like a lot of distraction is the World Cup, like the World Cup. So like I don't know,
Yeah.
like that could be on, and you've got England coming up, so you got stuff like that, and
Hmm.
that can cause a massive distraction.
Yeah, distractions are important. I mean, before like pre-Crohn's and all of this, I was like quite an outdoorsy person, like, and I still do like to be outdoors, but now it's more just sitting in my garden with a book rather than walking up hills and mountains. But I found like I do a lot of crocheting, reading, stuff that I can isn't strenuous, so I can like I'm using my mind, but my body I can be in bed
Yeah.
and I can still do it.
Is that like is that what you really like to do, like read books and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big TV watcher really. I'm watching Supernatural at the minute, which I'm quite enjoying actually. But
Okay.
I read books more than anything, and I sew and cook when I can.
Have you just started Supernatural?
I'm on season 5, but I only started it like about a week or so ago. I've binge watched it.
Yeah, you must have done it for a serious time. like I started watching it early on in the year. I think maybe around March time, I think. And I'm having a massive break on it at the moment, only purely because it gets a bit much, I guess. Like I think I'm on series 10,
Oh,
but there's like loads of series and loads of episodes, and I kind of didn't want to spend all my time watching one series, so I've been having a little break of it. I want to go back to it, um, because yeah, like it's really good. I do really like Supernatural.
yeah. I mean, I struggle with my memory, so I can't like. I can only watch one TV program at a time, or read one book at a time, or something like that. Because otherwise, I'll start like merging characters and different. And I'm like, I get confused. I'm like, why is he doing that? And I'm like, oh, different story. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Because Supernatural was out when I was born. It first released kind of when I was actually it weren't when I was born. I was about 6.
yeah,
It came out when I think it came out 2005, 2006, didn't it? Originally. And it's because it's American show, isn't it? Like
yeah.
we weren't informed. It's, back then, early 2000, we didn't have all this kind of Prime Video or anything, did we?
Hmm.
We I don't know what we had. But yeah, like it's harder to watch. But now it's great that we get to watch stuff like Supernatural.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, are you quite? Do you quite like horror then? Yeah, as if you like Supernatural.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna watch anything, it's usually like horror or like stuff that's just not like reality. Because I think I'm not gonna sit and watch anything reality based. If
Hmm.
I mean, I'm in reality. You know what I mean? I want to
Yeah,
watch demons and angels and vampires and.
yeah. You got to be in real. You got to do that. And like, do you believe in like the supernatural, like and
Ooh,
stuff?
well, I'm a bit of a witch myself, so
Oh,
I'd like to. I mean, I obviously don't think there's really angels and demons, no blue-eyed monster, yellow-eyed monsters gonna come and get me.
yeah,
But I'd like to think there's spirits and souls and stuff about.
yeah, yeah. I like I been watching there's a thing on Netflix called I think 28 Days Haunted. And these people go to actual places, like you know those movies like Annabelle, you've got Enduring, like those kind of actual horror movies,
Hmm.
like are actually set after actual places and actual events that happened, I think.
Yeah.
And these professional people who haunt like the supernatural and they can, I guess, do stuff like that. I've been watching like so these three sets of people have gone to 3 different locations in America, and they are spending like 28 days in it. And I watch it at night time. I cannot watch horror in the day. I have to watch it at night.
No, you have to watch it at night, don't you?
And, I'm petrified if I get up in the night and I'm running, I'm running. Uh, like if I need to toilet at night, I'm running and then running back. Even though it's only down the corridor, but I guess that anyone gets a bit of chills in the night and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Supernatural isn't scary, but I've been because I've just been binge watching it so much, like, and I'm literally falling asleep watching it. I wake up like jumping, thinking like some demon's going to get me or something. The last few nights, it's been going mad,
Mm.
and I was like, I think this is telling me that I'm watching too much TV at the minute. Clearly, it's
Yeah,
affecting my sleep.
yeah, I know what you mean. Like I'm up till like early hours, maybe 3 or 4.
Hmm.
Because sometimes I'll fall asleep in the middle of the day, and purely because I've done a lot, gone out or something, and I won't be as tired in the evening, as much if I did do that. Um, like if there's a boring football match like in the World Cup, I will fall asleep.
Yeah.
um, um, like there's been a lot of nil-nil, so but the only thing about Supernatural, I'd say the only thing which is annoying, I guess, or a bit boring about it, is that like the same story. It's based around the same storyline. Like the demons and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Like there's no change of
Yeah, well, I usually get really bored of like shows halfway through because of that reason. So I'm already on season 4 at the minute, so we'll see how far I get. But it's the
yeah.
first show in a while where it's caught my interest, so I think I might end up watching it.
Yeah, because I like it when a series has a story, or it just does it maybe for a few series, and then they can continue, but they just do something else.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Keep it fresh.
yeah, and I like it when they do that because it's something you can have something known, and like with Supernatural is just it's a long it's a long one,
Yeah.
but not too bad. But speaking about the Supernatural, I don't believe in it. Like, I believe probably in ghosts and stuff like that. But um probably with watching this 28 Days Haunted, it is a little bit haunting. Because you got people contacting and like spirits and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
uh,
I'm gonna have to give it a watch after I've
yeah,
watched Supernatural. That'll
yeah.
be the next on my list.
Yeah, there's only 6 episodes. I think they're like half hour, 40 minutes an episode.
Hmm.
But like you got psychic people like doing like the candle thing and talking to them. And like that saying that things have been touching them and stuff like that. I really like those kind of things, and oh, it's very good interest of mine. But yeah, you have to watch it, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, I will.
Yeah,
Sounds like good fun. I think it'll spook me a little bit.
just a little bit. Um, but do you like how is your Crohn's doing at the moment?
So since I was diagnosed, I got started on infliximab, and then I had a reaction to it, so they had to stop that. And then since then, every time I've had a bowel resection, that part of my bowel that's been joined back together is keeps leaking. So I've had two more surgeries which have tried to fix that, and I've had drains in place, and I've just finished like an 8 week course of IV antibiotics. I had a midlining, and I've still got a drain in place, and I've obviously got my stoma as well, but that's permanent. Um, and usually, obviously, you'll know yourself on biologics. You're not meant to have any antibiotics or anything
Mm.
when you're on them. But we've been waiting to start my treatment, but my bowel just keeps leaking and stuff like that. So they were like, we need to break this cycle. So they just started me on my biologics whilst I was on the antibiotics. And fingers crossed, it seems to have done the trick. So I've still got the drain in place, but I've stopped the antibiotics and it's not like it's not filling up. So it's dry. So I'm really hoping this like is the last time, and this is it, because I don't have much bowel left to play with. I only have like 2 meat. I have the minimum of small bowel left, and I've only got like a quarter or half of my large bowel. So there's not much left
It's
before I end up on
yeah.
like TPN and things like that for life. So obviously we're trying to
Mhm.
avoid that as much as possible. But it feels stable at the minute. So I don't feel like I've got an infection. But
Yeah,
you know, it, I'm not gonna say too much because I'll end up jinxing myself. So
yeah, yeah. You don't want to say too much.
yeah,
Yeah,
every time I say I think I'm infection free, it just comes back with a vengeance. So I mean, it's always been the same issue with fistulas and like stuff like that. Um, Even like during my pregnancy, that's how it all started. So I'm hoping this is it.
yeah, yeah. I have a fistula. I had a little bit of a bother with one. Well, with my fistula before. I guess I was diagnosed. I think the fistula was quite one of the main reasons how I did discover what was going wrong and stuff.
Hmm.
As well as the weight loss. But I went to my local doctor surgery, and they didn't want to look. Like the doctor was, I think, a bit uncomfortable and said I was uncomfortable. Of course, I'm
Yeah.
going to be uncomfortable. Who isn't going to be uncomfortable?
Well, yeah.
It's going to be uncomfortable anyway. Like just if you're doing like exercise and like and where it's placed is not ideal. Um, like I've always like with it. In the past I've had to have you know things to make you go to the toilet, like because it can make you be constipated.
Hmm.
Um, and I've had yeah, I've had quite a lot of bother with it, but I haven't had to have it drained or anything like that, so I've been quite fortunate.
Yeah.
Um, So it's always been kind of kept under control and stuff. But yeah, they are very above it, and they don't. I always say that they don't get talked enough about a lot, because I guess I know why, but I figure why, because there's not a topic you're going to talk about every day, is it?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to say to your friend, "Oh look, I've got a fistula."
Yeah, well, we actually, I'm far too open with everyone, to be honest. I'm like,
Hmm.
but I used to joke with my friends, that it was my second bum hole, because like I had like my bum, and then it was a bit further up,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I got one even further up, and I'd start a group message like, I threw a third bum hole. But
Oh, that's funny.
that's one of the ways I get through it, is just humor, and all of my friends are equally as silly as me. So but
You gotta have humor.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
like otherwise it'd be just boring. You can't just feel. I always say you don't feel. You feel sorry for yourself, I guess, at the start when you're diagnosed. Because you say why me and stuff like that, and then as life goes on, you laugh about it. It's like
Yeah.
I'll laugh if I have an injection that I had yesterday. Actually, like, it hurt, and it did hurt. I laugh about it now, because if it hurts or not, if it doesn't hurt, I'll scream anyway. Just um,
Yeah.
just I don't know. It's just a feeling I do, and um, it's quite funny. I'll probably have to get recorded one time, do an injection of my how I actually react to
Yeah.
it, which would be quite cool. But yeah, it is a pain when you do have these things, and people don't take your word for it, or because like it's hard, and like you speak about the infliximab, I that was my first biologic as well, um and I, it didn't work. It worked after a year, and then it stopped.
Yeah.
Um and so I
Did you react to it, or did it just stop working for you?
I reacted to it in the 10th infusion. I didn't want it was annoying. It was the 10th. I was like, look, I said 10th infusion. It's going to be the 10th lucky one.
Yeah.
And then 15 minutes into the loading dose, and it stopped. Um,
Yeah.
what I felt really hot. Um, and I sort of struggled to breathe as well, so I needed gas. I need oxygen tank, sorry, as well. And I thought, what's going on here? And and then that helped me breathe, and then I did it much slower. I got through it, and then after that, I was put on Humira, which I'm still on at the moment. And
Yeah. Is that working well for you, or?
yeah, it's
Oh,
working well.
good.
Like each time is different. I it's yeah, like I said, that's the medication. I'll scream. But I'm not just on that. I'm on an azathioprine. I've been on azathioprine. I've azathioprine ever since. Vitamin D, because I suffer with fatigue a lot as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I take that, and it seemed to be doing okay. But yeah, I'm glad it's working. Especially through the lockdowns and stuff like that. And I had a medication that actually was working for me. And I know some people, especially if people had like surgeries in like the early doors of the pandemic when it first hit, and people getting diagnosed with Crohn and stuff. It's very hard times to be dealing with all
Hmm.
that.
Yeah. I mean, when after I'd had my son and I was diagnosed with Crohn's, I was relieved at first, because I thought, finally I've got a diagnosis. This is on the right track. And then I didn't get better after my first surgery or my NG tube or anything like that. So then I went through the stage of, oh crap, this is for life.
Hmm.
Like, oh. And then finally now, I've like, obviously then it was lockdown, so I was a single mum. I was in lockdown by myself. My son was only like 6 months old, so I couldn't get my treatments, and I think that's probably why I ended up building up antibodies to infliximab, because I couldn't get in for them. I wasn't allowed to take him in. No one could come out to me, and I wasn't a priority for anything. So I think by the time I did get in to be able to have them again, it just, my whole body reacted. I was close to anaphylactic, ended up having to stay in. So
Yeah, it's hard times, I guess. Like it's still hard times. Well, because it being like on the medication you can be on does like make you like like you can catch a cold if it's just a cold, or if it's COVID even worse.
Hmm.
Depends on the person. But yeah, it's hard. You don't want to be on these medications. You wanna try and limit yourself
Yeah.
as much as you can, so you can have a more, I guess, more of a life in a way, because you have to limit yourself sometimes for the stuff you do because of the medication you're on.
Yeah, I mean, it took me a long time to accept that I had to actually go on medication, even for my anxiety and stuff like that. I always was one of those people that was like, I could do it the natural way. I could change it myself, or if I just start eating better, or doing this or doing that. And it took me a long time to accept that I actually needed medication. Um, and even now, sometimes I struggle to take my meds because I'm thinking, well, why? But I've got like a I've got a pretty little pink pill pot now, and it's got cute little
Mhm.
stickers on.
Oh, that's great.
So, and I've got like a take your med sticker. So like I make it look cute and a bit nicer, and it just makes it a bit easier for you to take.
Yeah, it's great that you have your own pot, because um I I have one too.
I forget otherwise. Well, I still forget, to be honest. I am pretty useless at remembering to take my meds, but I mean, I try.
Yeah, I guess you don't. Like, is it just for your, like? Do you take much medication?
Um, I've got my biologics, and I take sertraline for my anxiety, and vitamin D tablets because I'm vitamin D deficient.
Mm.
And that's actually it at the moment. Oh, and vertigo tablets. I don't know the name of them.
Yeah,
Because I've recently started suffering from vertigo. But I'm hoping that's just something that's not going to stick about.
yeah. All these names of all different tablets are so long and complicated. Like there's like for the
Oh, I
infusions and
can't.
injections.
I think it's went a bit funnier. You've I can't hear you at the moment.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there we go. We're back. It
Oh,
froze on me for a little
okay.
bit.
No, it happens.
Yeah, it's where I live as well. I get terrible internet around here, so
Yeah, I guess it might be the time of year. Yeah. Speaking of the time of year, do you like Christmas?
I love Christmas. Yeah, Halloween and Christmas. I love them.
Yeah.
I love jumper weather.
You do?
I hate the cold, but I love being cozy and wrapped up. So
Yeah.
I have like endless amounts of teddies and blankets to keep me
Oh,
warm. So
I love teddies.
me
Oh,
too.
I collect them all the time.
My son has developed like a love for teddies as well. So it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So me and him get all excited and have loads of them.
I want to do a picture of all of them because I have so many. I've been meaning to do that for ages. I definitely need to do that because I collect them. So, for example, if I go to somewhere, like I did an autism talent show last weekend, um, and the, I have family who entered the raffle, and I was just on the down there, like because they were sitting near the top, so I was down there. I could easily just pick what I wanted for the
Hmm.
raffle. I think one a few times, and I got these bunch of teddies. So I got a bunch of them and just put them in. Like I have teddies everywhere. Like I have teddies right down there.
Yeah, I can see a few of them.
Yeah. Um, but I have one main one. I have one main teddy that I always take with me, like if I go on holiday and everything. So I always have that one main one, but I
Yeah.
collect others as well.
I mean, I've got my elephant, and
Mm.
I mean, he's here with me now. He's been out of camera shot, but he's here with me now, and
Yeah,
he comes to the hospital with me as well. Every hospital trip, if I need surgery and stuff, he comes with me,
yeah.
and I
Oh,
take my own blanket.
yeah. You got to take your one blanket. You can't.
Yeah, you need those home comforts, don't you? I mean, I treat hospital now as like a little mini break. I take my laptop, I watch Netflix,
Mm.
and I just sit and I just chill out as much as I can. Because if you're stressing, thinking, I just want to get home, I want to get home, it does take longer. Like you're stressing out, you're having a miserable time, and I feel like I heal better when I'm just relaxing and not worrying about stuff.
I agree, and I think it's a good time not to be on your phone as well for a little bit when you go to
Hmm.
hospital because, like, I just like it. I like having breaks sometimes, and yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't been in like hospital like emergency for ages, but that probably time will come at some point, which don't know when to be, but if it does happen, we
Yeah, I
just
mean,
let it happen.
COVID was obviously it was awful for people not being able to have visitors, but in certain situations. But with me personally, I loved it. Like other than not being able to see my son, which obviously was heartbreaking, like there wasn't loads of visitors to every different cubicle around you, and like there's always loads of noise, and you're just trying to chill out and heal, aren't you? And you can hear like some kids screaming and someone else doing something else, and it was nice to just it was really quiet and
Yeah,
relaxing. So I didn't mind it, to be honest.
yeah, like yeah. I remember that. I think last time I was actually in hospital, the only problem I had was sleeping. I didn't like sleeping. I had cannula in me, so
Hmm.
I was afraid to move it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As you do when you're in it, and although you can move it as much as you want, really, but you just don't want to do it. And I had this person, this I think this older man who was just like talking throughout the night and and stuff like that. So I couldn't really sleep.
Yeah.
And you want to say to them be quiet, but that's rude. So
Hmm.
so I don't. And yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is the sleeping, and I don't really like the food that much, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
either. Um, but like I'll have to have to
Yeah,
deal with it.
you can deal with it for
Yeah,
those days, I guess.
yeah, I have to deal with it. And then when you get out, you have something nice that you really enjoy,
Hmm.
I think. But yeah, yeah, it's like like with I take my when I go in I'll take my I'll take maybe an iPad. I'll watch some Netflix as well. I'll take my teddy called Fred. Um, I'll take him. I take it like everywhere I go. If it's a hospital, if it's a holiday.
Yeah.
I won't take all my teddies because that'd be I need a car for them. I need another car for them. But yeah, it's crazy how much I do have and why I'm scattered. I'm just scattered.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a good hobby to have. Like if you collect things like that. Whenever because I really like football as well, so I'll go maybe another ground and I'll just collect that teddy, even if I don't support them. It's just like a
Yeah.
collecting thing.
Yeah, I collect teddies, stickers, and pin badges.
Yeah, yeah. I would do that too. Like if I went to another ground, they normally have a pin badge stand, so I'd get. Or it might be whoever they're playing against, whoever I'm watching. Put them on the hat and stuff like that,
Yeah, that's cute.
which is pretty cool. Um, yeah, I guess that's another interest we have. Like we like collecting things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oh yeah, I don't know if you can see him. I think he's right there. Like there's one
Yeah.
sitting there. That is an England one. I recently got that one. Um, he's on a light stand because the room I'm in at the moment is kind of a gaming room
Yeah.
because I do like to game sometimes. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I got him. And yeah, it basically has an England badge on it. So hoping well for England. He's England's good luck, I think.
Yeah.
And I've named him Dog because I couldn't think of any other name. um, yeah, because yeah, like why not?
Why not?
Why not? Um, but yeah, so you're doing okay at the moment, Kayleigh, with your crimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time in a long time that I've felt okay. I mean, I have an issue with pushing myself too much. So when I do go through these stages where I'm actually starting to feel a little bit better, I end up going crazy. Like not long ago, I'd got out of surgery and I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling really good. Let's hold a family fun day for Crohn's and colitis." And I did that, and then I ended up with my abscess. So I'm not sure whether I'd actually just push myself too far through surgery this time, like because I do that. And the other day I went shopping and I thought it was a good idea to do it all day and then come home and bake and do everything else and clean. And I was like, and then I lay in bed whinging like, oh, I've done too much. So I need to find that balance. But I
Yeah,
am doing better, a lot better. Even my badder days, like my worst days, are the better now than what they used to be.
it's good. Yeah, it's definitely good. Like especially coming up to Christmas as well.
Well, that's all I'm hoping for is to get through Christmas because usually I'm really bad just all of winter. So if I get to like through Christmas, I'm happy.
Yeah, not long, not long.
No, no, it's my birthday as well, the 21st. So
Is it?
yeah, and I plan to eat my weight in cheese.
You
But
like cheese?
I love cheese. It's the best thing in the world.
What any cheese or is there any cheese that you like?
Um, I'd say yeah, I love all cheese. I love blue cheese. That's
Okay.
blue cheese and brie are probably my faves.
Yeah, I do like cheese. I like grated cheese actually.
Yeah.
Um, I like cheese. I have that in a sandwich. Um, but yeah, like you know those Ritz like biscuits that you can have
hmm
in you dip them in like the cheese kind of
Yeah.
dip thing. I like them.
Oh yeah, you're making me hungry.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like this year's gonna be a bit weird for me. I'm not having Christmas dinner on Christmas Day this year. I have it the other way around. I'm Boxing Day and have some like just snacks
Oh,
just the other way around. Um, but yeah, like fingers crossed. It's all right at Christmas
yeah,
for
for
you.
sure.
Yeah, and you can enjoy your cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there before we finish, Kayleigh, is there any maybe advice, maybe for other people who have Crohn's or anything else that don't you want to say?
Um, I'd say just speak up, try and find people in similar situations to you. Because when I joined like Instagram and found there was loads of other people with IBD and things like that, I felt less alone, and I've made multiple friends now with stomas. I'm part of the stoma squad. We've been on the news and we've been spreading, awareness for that. And I've done a few photo shoots for stomas and body acceptance and stuff. And just meeting other people in similar situations to you, it just changes things and how you deal with it so much. So like just reach out. I'd say that's the most important thing to do. Don't be
Definitely.
scared, don't be embarrassed. Like we all poo. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. 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 Unfortunately. Yeah. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I completely agree. I saw some of the pictures like from like the photo shoots and different stuff you're doing. It's great. It's great to raise awareness of doing stuff like this because I guess it helps other people like if they have a stoma or if they're recently diagnosed with Crohn's that they have the confidence to themselves maybe to follow people lead like yourselves and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to help people, but I never felt physically well enough to like to go and do what I actually wanted to do, which was like nursing and stuff like that. Obviously, I couldn't do that, so this is just my way of being able to help others, I guess, a little bit, without physically being there to help.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. It's great. That just if you help one person, I would say is the best thing.
hmm
Um, and yeah, I always enjoy it, and people who say like that they enjoy stuff you do as well because like you don't do it just for people like that, that just want more followers and stuff. It's not about that. It's about like just sharing your journey, really, isn't it? And just
Yeah,
helping people.
it's like I think it's like its own little brand of therapy. Like it really helps just talking about stuff, and then even just getting the odd message every now and then from someone just saying like, "Thank you for like like you've told me like for feeling the same as me. I've actually went and advocated myself at the doctors, and now I'm going for further testing and just stuff like that. Or thank you, I don't feel as alone now. Like it just makes you feel good. It makes you all warm and fuzzy, doesn't it? Just
Yeah,
knowing that because I've felt alone at first. Like I until I started looking for it myself, I didn't even know like I've really thought that having a stoma was like an old person thing.
Mm.
So it wasn't until I started actually looking for stuff and putting stuff out there myself that I saw other people, and I was like, oh wow, this is actually amazing. Like, so it
Yeah.
does help. It makes you feel a lot better.
Yes, so many people have stomas now. And I knew of stomas before Crohn's, like people from for other things that have stomas too.
Hmm.
Um, n- but yeah, I had more, I guess, of awareness. I know what it is more than the actual Crohn's, because I don't have stoma myself, but like it's one of those things, like you see a lot of people have it in the community, and potentially one day that you could have
Hmm.
it, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's great to see other people doing it, and like for people in the future, if you get one, you're more prepared, seeing all the other people sharing the journeys with them, and stuff.
Yeah, it was so lovely meeting like the stoma squad, and I've met a girl who actually lives local to me who got a stoma a few weeks before me, so she was like my little handy pocket guide. She was amazing, and we've become really good friends now as well. And she gave me all the tips and tricks where so it was just miles less daunting, and I handled it really well. And I probably wouldn't have if I hadn't had that support from someone else with a stoma. So it was nice.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I completely agree. It's great to meet new people, and we have today. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It has
but
its perks sometimes, doesn't it?
yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great fun. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, Kayleigh. Like coming on.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah, it's been really fun. To anyone listening and watching, we hope you enjoyed it today as well. And yeah, well, I hope you have a nice rest of your holidays. Hopefully, Christmas is okay. um, yeah, and yeah, enjoy the cheese.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.